Hey everyone, it's me, author Alexandra Infante, coming to you with a new review. I'm not sure why my hair is looking like Susie right now from the Rugrats. But yeah, it's kind of messed up. Anyway, so today is our normal fiction day. So we had an author scheduled, but unfortunately no one finished the book. So sorry. And then it's a little bit outside of my comfort zone, so I gave it to because we don't want to not read people's books. We only have two criterias that we don't review, so it wasn't my cuppa. I'm sorry. So I had to give it to Erica because it wasn't Jin's either. So Erica unfortunately is not finished with the book, so we're going to have to push that book back until next week. She has like 3 briefings that she has to do for the court system because remember, Erica is a lawyer, so she's not going to be able to finish it she may finish it this weekend, so we're going to push it back and then basically do it next week. So tonight's review is actually a mystery. Yay! I've been waiting for someone to send in a mystery, but so this is one that Jen found off of Amazon. It is a freebie, guys, and it is really, really good. So the book is called, just 1 second. I should already had this done. Look, you know I'm senile sometimes. All right. So the book is by New York Times bestselling author Diane Capri, and she, from what I could see, she is an indie author. She's best-selling. We looked her up on the Amazon website, and then basically it's called Reservation with Death, the Park Hotel Mystery, and it's really, really good. So here is the cover. Of course, it's gonna turn freaking orange. It didn't even give me a second. So here once again, and it's called Reservation with Death, and it's by Diane Capri. So now this book, I have to get my notes here. Okay, so the main character, Andy, is a lawyer. Excuse me. Is a lawyer, or she unfortunately was a lawyer. She works for this big corporate this big law firm, and so she was hoping because the bosses said that they wanted to speak to her, so she was hoping finally she was gonna get that that junior partner, promotion, and everything was going to be awesome and great in her life. And so when her bosses called her into the conference room, she was like, yes, right? She was a little bit nervous because of the fact that it's a big, huge thing. And so she, basically she goes in and she has a seat, and then her boss says, so, did you know what he was doing? And so basically she's like, wait, what? And so he goes, were you in on it? And then still she's like, I have no clue what you're talking about. Well, the guy that she worked under, he embezzled thousands of dollars from their highest, seriously high clients. So those ones who will and trust, and the Fifth Avenue type people or whatever. And so he had a gambling problem. So she knew he had a problem. She just didn't think that it went any more over lotto tickets. He would do the scratch offs, and so she would be like, do you really believe in that? And he'd be like, it's nothing, it's just a hobby of mine. And then he opens his drawer, and there's 2 freaking stacks of lotto tickets. So she didn't really think about anything over the fact that, you know, he had lotto tickets. But lo and behold, he's been embezzling all this money from the company, from some of the highest clients. So they're like, okay, so you're on suspension. And she's just like, what? I didn't have anything to do with it. I have no clue what he's doing, and why am I being penalized? And so her bosses, she like kind of thought like that might work. Her boss was like, oh, you're getting the boot out. So they didn't fire her, and they didn't revoke her license, but they put her on unpaid leave. So now it's like she's going to lose her apartment. She's going to lose everything. And she has these 2 cats that are so cute. And so basically she calls up her best friend from college, Aunt Jenny Park. And then Jenny offers her a job at their hotel. They own the Park Hotel. And so she offers her a job there. And then she's like, come on down. She buys plane tickets and she decides to go. And to go and take this job, because right now she has no other means of support. And so she's like, okay, if I don't do this, then basically I'm going to be screwed. I don't want to ask my parents for a loan, because obviously from the way that the author wrote the book, her and her parents don't really get along. They don't really treat her like, I guess, a daughter. And she talks about her nanny, Miss Johnson, I think her name was. Well, she had a black nanny, so she's white. She grew up with a black nanny, and which I'm not sure I kind of like that part, but anyway. And so she basically loves this lady like to distraction, and so she didn't want to call her up and tell her like what happened to her, that she lost her, that she pretty much lost her job. She's just praying like she doesn't lose her license as well. Which if it was me, I'd have found his you-know-what. And we'd have had some words and some fists. I'd have been throwing these hands. So anyway, and so basically she didn't want to call up her old nanny and tell her, because she felt like she'd be so disappointed in her. Even though she didn't really do anything. She had no clue that he was stealing all this money. But for the simple fact that she worked under him, they're like, no, you had to know. You had to know. It's sort of like, you know, when the kid goes out and he shoots up everybody in the neighborhood, and the parents are like, no, we never knew. And they're like, yeah, you knew. And so basically she's like, I didn't have a clue what he was doing. And so basically she takes like the last of her money and she buys these plane tickets, and then she decides to go to, how is it pronounced? It's pronounced, I'm going to have to look it up in the book. Frontenac, Michigan. It's like a little island. It's sort of like what I was getting from the book. Like if you went to the Hamptons, it's like an island like that. Because sometimes I do catering for the summer in one of the Hampton hotels, and I get to feel pampered, y'all. But basically, and so she decides to go to the hotel. I mean, she gets there. Her friend picks her up, and then they have to wind up walking up like to the hotel. And she has her 2 kitties, and it's like she doesn't want to get rid of her kitties, because her kitties are like, you know, it's like her support animals. You know, I'm gonna get me a support dog. A little tiny one, so I could be like those little old ladies. Anyway, and so it's like, you know, they're like her support animals, and she doesn't want to get rid of them, so she takes them with her. They're like family to her. So then she gets to the hotel, and then Lily, Virginia, her best friend Jenny, Virginia's mom, is like, no, we don't allow pets in the hotel. And so automatically, you know, she's freaking out, because she's like, okay, then I'm about to leave this job, because I'm not leaving my pets. And so Jenny is just like, no, it's fine. And the mom's just like, no. And so she's like, we'll just figure it out later. There's a kennel that could watch your babies or whatever. And so, you know, Andy is pretty much in her brain like, no. And so she puts her up in a hotel. I mean, in one of the rooms. It's really nice. The author describes it. And it just made me feel like I would love to be in a room like that too. Like on some freaking resort hotel in the Hamptons or something like that, and just chilling, doing nothing, like, except retirement. And so basically, okay, then the next day, okay, so that was the first day. The next day, she dresses, she dresses nice, she goes down, and then they're going to teach her job as concierge. So now, that was the job that Jenny offered her. And I just kind of feel like the character's just like, yeah, this really sucks. You know what? I'm talking about not the A, but the D. Because I pretty much am a lawyer, a high-powered, fancy lawyer, and I am reduced to a concierge. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with a concierge, but she's young, so that's why. Because, like, I would totally take a concierge job. I mean, I'm getting to the age where, I've been teaching. I've had 3 careers. I have 3 degrees. I don't care anymore. I did what I was supposed to do. I raised my kids. I basically I got all my accolades. So shoot, at the rate that I am now, I would take a job at the dollar store and just be happy. If I could take that job and just write all day, I'd be so happy, which is what I'd probably be looking for. Or at least a job where I'm teaching maybe only half a day, and then I get to do all that I want to with the rest of the day. So summer school, something like that. But anyway. So she takes a job as a concierge, and so it's like a step down. I mean, come on, seriously. Now, I'm not saying anything about, concierge, and that's a legitimate, very, very lucrative, very, honest job. You could be proud of that. It's just that she was a lawyer, so, it's got to bite a little bit. And so basically, so she learns to be the concierge. The first day is crazy because there's an annual, like, mayor's, like, function. I can't remember exactly what it was called. And so, and the girl, she takes the girl's position who is, like, on vacation. And so they don't really like her. They're like, well, where is, I think her name was Penny or something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. I should have wrote it down. But anyway, they're like, where is blah, 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 blah. And so she's like, well, hi, I'm Andy, and she's not here today, but I can help you as best as I can, blah, 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 blah. And so, so she goes through the first day. She meets the mayor, and the mayor is, like, livid because there wasn't cold water in the conference room that she was supposed to be in. And so she comes over to her, and she's, like, steaming it. She's like, where, you need to get the water in there now. And then, so Andy is pretty much like, I'm so sorry. I'm new today, blah, 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 blah. And so then she's like, oh, okay. And so she goes to take her break, and then she goes upstairs. She gets, like, a tea and something else because she's saying, you know what, hey, I'm going to have to change my diet because they pretty much have me running everywhere, and I'm going to need the strength and the stamina. And so she gets her lunch, and then she goes back, and she wastes tea on this guy, and then it winds up having to be, the guy is he a senator? He's either a senator or, I think he's a senator because the Karen, or I believe that's her name, she is the mayor. So so basically she wastes tea on his shoes, and then she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. He kind of like is annoyed or whatever. And so she goes back to her her desk, the concierge. And so she's, basically letting people in and out, and, booking them in rooms, booking them lunches, all that kind of stuff. And then finally this bald dude comes up to her, and he's like, I lost my wallet. And she's like, okay, well, let's think about it for a second. Where was the last place that you were? And so she does all that. She runs down, and then his wife comes over, and his wife is, like, really snooty, and she's like, and that's all you're going to do? You're just going to ask him those questions? That's not really helping, right? And then so she's like, oh my god, I just want to reach across the thing and slap the crap out of her, but I'm going to be nice. And so she's like, you know what, I'll go and look for it myself. And so the old man is like, the older man, he's like very nice, and like he's got 4 kids, and they're like hanging out, and she feels sorry for him, and she's just like, oh my God, I feel sorry for your life. And so he thanks her, and he goes on about his business. So she decides to go and look for, like she said, to look for the wallet. So she goes to the pool area. She's like, she's weirded out because there's like so much water over there, and she's like, I don't care if you were just a normal person getting out of the water, even kids doing cannonballs, there's not going to be this much water over here. So she decides to go into like this little cabana type area to check, she checks under all the lounge chair. There's no wallet there. She looks over to the other side, and then she sees a little brown square, and she's like, oh, that's probably it. So then she goes over there, but then the water is like bugging her too, so she goes over to look for the water, and then she goes into this little area, like a cabana or whatever type, and she's like, oh wow, it's rusty over here. What is this rust on the floor, on the ground? And so basically she's thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to tell Lily about this, because this is really bad. And not to mention rust, basically it can cause issues with people, humans. And so she walks further in, and then she's like, because there's a dead body there. And so she calls Lily, she calls Jenny, she calls Jenny's brother Eric, because she used to have a thing with him, and then she sort of like kind of dumped him. Not too nicely. Not bad, but not great either. And so she calls all of them, and she's like, yeah, there's a dead body in the in the pool area. And so they think she's like messing around, so they come down there, and then Jenny, she tells Jenny, she's like, yeah, there's a dead body in there. And then so she's like, like, stop playing. And then she's like, no, seriously, there's a dead body in there. And so they go in, and then the brother like almost hurls, and so everybody is freaked out. And so basically for the rest of the book, Andy is trying to figure out who did this. And so now my review of this book. I really, really enjoyed this book. Oh my God, it was so good. It's like I used to read the Catering Mysteries. I can't remember. Oh my God, I can't remember the author. You know what? I'll have to mention it to you guys the next time that I'm doing a review. She isn't an indie author. She's like a mainstream author. But I freaking love her books. 1, because I'm a chef. 2, all of her books, she's a caterer. She's a mystery sleuth, and so she solves these crimes, but she's a caterer. And so that's kind of what this book reminded me of, even though Andy is a lawyer. Her snooping, the way that she snoops, and she's in this place and that place, and the fact that she pissed off the sheriff, and the sheriff was like, you know what, you're getting on my nerves, and then, everybody's telling her, stay out of it, but she's just so nosy, and she just has to know that she can't stop. And so if I had to star this book, I would give this book a solid 4.5 stars, because it was that good. Because I'm like a serious mystery buff. I mean, one of my favorites is Sherlock Holmes. So anything. I mean, when I was younger, I used to watch Perry Mason. I used to watch all of the mysteries like that. Nancy Drew. And I really love the new Nancy Drew. But they made it freaky. Like, I was just like, what the hell? There were a couple of times where it scared the crap out of me. And you know what? Of course, my oldest son told me to watch that. Because he just gets on my nerves. He tried to get me to watch Haunting in Connecticut. All of those movies like that. He thinks it's so funny because he knows it's going to freak me out. So he told me, hey, Mom, why don't you watch the new Nancy Drew? But he didn't tell me all of that mess was in it. So, but I really like the show, though. I just close my eyes when they get to that part. But anyway, and so this book was so good. I really liked it. And I liked the way the characters mesh. I like Andy, the main character. Because like I was telling you guys yesterday, I believe it was. It takes me a little bit to warm up to the main female character. I have to, there are very few books that reach me where the character just shoots out of the box. Like like the two I mentioned yesterday, Siren Allen's Cinderella and Kenya Wright's MJ. You know, very few books like hit me that quickly to where I'm just dying laughing, you know. So, but I really liked Andy. She was funny. She was like that. She wasn't like funny like ha 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 ha. She was funny like, oh my god, the Daria type funny, where it's really sarcastic Janine Garofalo type you know, humor. I don't know if maybe you guys are too young. Some of you out there that you don't know who Janine Garofalo is, but I freaking loved her. She was one of my favorite actresses. But anyway, so it's like that Daria type sarcasm that's completely funny though. So this book was awesome, and so I give it a 4.5 stars, and I really want you guys to go out and pick up this book. I believe the author, even though she is a New York Times bestselling author, she is still an indie author, because all of the books on Amazon that say sold by Amazon Services means that that person is an indie author. So here is the cover once again. It's called Reservation with Death. Here it is, and it's by author Diane Capri. So you guys make sure you go out there and you get this book, because I'm telling you, this book is so good. I really loved it, and I want you guys to experience it and love it too. So that is pretty much it for this review. Now remember, tomorrow, Saturdays, we are going to start reviewing My Housemates on Saturdays only. So we won't trickle them into the main procession Monday through Friday, because I wasn't going to. I mean, I was gonna not do them, but then I'm like, no, that's not fair, because they're indie authors too. I didn't want people to think I was being biased. But I'm going to do them on the weekends, and I will be telling you the truth. If I didn't like the book, I didn't like the book. Or if I felt like there was something wrong with it, I'm going to say they're my homies and I love them, but still, this is an honest review channel. So I'm going to be doing them on Saturdays, because one of our viewers, Diane, thanks so much for asking for that. She wanted us to review more of Kenesha, Arlie, and SK. Now, SK doesn't have any other books besides the Chronicles of Takuri, Chosen by Two. She has the little short, A Christmas Bite, but that's it. She doesn't have any more books. She's slated to come out with another YA this year, so keeping our fingers crossed. Of course, I'm sure she will let us review it first. And then Kenesha has she has the Pat Coalition series, and there's 3 books to that. And then she has the Burgeoning Witch series. There's 1 book to that. And then she has the It Takes a Fairy, the Dragon Score series, and she's got 1 book in that so far. So that is what we will be reading tomorrow, or we'll be reviewing tomorrow, is her It Takes a Fairy. And then on Sunday, we will be reading author Danny Hart. And this is the book. I freaking love this cover. It's called Midnight Rose. And like I was saying, I already started reading it, so I'm already liking the characters. And this is mainstream Caucasian. So basically, we read everything here, just so you guys know that. We don't discriminate against anyone. The only things that we discriminate against is Christian, and it's not so much that we discriminate against, it's that we don't have anyone who wants to read it. Now, Misama, she said that she would be interested in reading the Christian fiction and actually doing a video, and that will be hysterically funny if she does, because my mom is like 76 years old and she does not have a filter. I'm not joking. It would be hysterically funny. And so we are going to be doing channel takeovers. So Next week on Friday, you will see a new face doing a channel takeover. And then maybe on Tuesday, I'm not exactly sure. Tuesday we might get one, and then on Sunday we might get one. So that's what we're gonna do. So because I know you guys are probably tired of seeing my face all the time, so we will start doing the channel takeovers. And plus, I just feel like it'll throw it, mix it up for you guys a little bit, and so you won't always have to see my face, because I don't think we're going to ever get Jen to come on the channel. I mean, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, maybe, hopefully one day. But as we go right now, that's not happening. So, like I said, on tomorrow, we will be reviewing Kanisha Knowles' It Takes a Fairy. And then on Sunday, we will be reviewing Danny Hart's Midnight Rose. And once again, this freaking book was so good. I really want you guys to go out and get it. It's by author Diane Capri, just so you guys see it again. And it's called Reservation with Death. The Park Hotel Mystery. And if you are a mystery author out there, please, please, please send in your work, because I love, love, love mystery. So, if you are, make sure that you tag me when you send it in. Make sure you put attention Ali, Alejandria, Alexandria, whichever you choose. Just make sure you send it to me, because I love mystery. I think I'm the only one who reads mystery. I'm not sure. But I'm a serious, you guys, if you remember, I'm a literature teacher. Well, I teach literature, art, history, mythology. So I'm used to the classics. I love Arthur Conan Doyle. Shakespeare. Darn it. Get it out of it. See, I should have been sipping that wine, y'all. Basically, Sherlock Holmes is one of my favorite. And I think Robert Downey Jr. embodied Sherlock Holmes the way I had always pictured him in my brain. And so they're supposed to be doing a Sherlock 3. Guy Ritchie needs to get on the freaking ball. But I love Guy Ritchie movies too. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. Once again, author Diane Capri, Reservation with Death. Make sure you guys go out and get this book. It is I am starring this book a 4.5. So a 4.5 stars, because this book was that good. And this is our mainstream author. Go out and pick this up. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow.